Hi, I'm Tony Pina. Welcome to this week's lesson. This week we're going to be talking about training goals because setting up the wrong goals or setting them up in the wrong format can often lead to difficulty when you're trying to develop instruction. We're going to show you how to get rid of some of those problems. To create a training program, very often I see goals like, I want them to know good customer service. I want them to understand good customer service. Or one of my favorites, I want them to appreciate the importance of good customer service. Well, if you had that know, understand, appreciate, could you design that training program? Would you know how to measure? How can you measure if somebody's appreciated something? Well, if you could develop that training, you're probably a better man or woman than I am. So how do you do it? How do you test or assess, know, understand, or appreciate? You really can't. That's the problem. At least you can't do it reliably or objectively. So how about this? I want them to describe the characteristics of good customer service. Do you think you could write a test item for that? Do you think you could measure whether they could describe the characteristics of good customer service, whether they could list them? You probably could. So that's a better goal, because a good goal is one that you can measure. How about this one? I want them to be able to distinguish between good customer service and poor customer service. Do you think you could write some training around that, giving examples of good customer service and poor customer service, and then having your learners be able to distinguish between the two? Sure you could. Now, fuzzy goals like appreciate and understand make it really difficult to measure and to design effective training. And a lot of times your clients are going to come up to you with these kinds of fuzzy goals. I want them to be able to appreciate the importance of going to the library. I want them to know a lot about my company. Now, if you can get concrete goals like identify, learners will create, learners will classify, learners will explain, they'll write it down, they'll perform something. If you can get goals like that, it makes developing your training so much easier, and it makes being able to measure whether or not your learners have achieved anything from the training also so much easier. And so this week you're going to learn about a technique called goal analysis. And that's basically a tool or a technique that helps you take fuzzy goals and turn them into clear goals. And so this is one of the very first things that you need to be able to do to develop training that will make the rest of the road so much easier. See you in cyberspace.